All right, happy day and good morning from Bushara in Uzbekistan. Alvaro and myself, we just left the hostel, the guest house, and we got some fuel. So the fuel part is a little bit difficult here in Uzbekistan because most of the cars, they are kind of put on gas like LPG. So they're running on methane or propane, and there are not so many fuel stations, especially when it comes to getting fuel 95. So Alvaro and myself, we both riding the Tenere 700. We could go down to 90 octane, but we believe it's better to get the 95 for the durability of the bike and maybe also the fuel consumption. If you know different, like what's kind of, if it's really worth investing more money in 95 because it's more expensive here also, or just getting like 92 or 91, which is what they sell more often, then let us know. Yeah, but we found a nice fuel station exiting the city center on the east side, and very new fuel station. They had 80, 91 and 95, so very cool. Happy about that. The bikes are fueled up and we can do another 600 kilometers in the direction of Samarkand. That's where we're heading to today. So we're looking at 4 hours, 5 more minutes. It's a rather short trip, only 270 kilometers. But yeah, we will see how it goes. It's rather a bad road, we assume, because the time indication is rather long. Probably lots of roads like that where we have traffic lights every now and then, and taking it slowly. We have some guests over there, also riding on their bikes, no motorbikes but bicycles. And yeah, that's gonna be fun, I think. So Bukhara was a nice place, also kind of very old, kind of oriental style buildings. They are the first ones who greet, and if there are several people in the car, they all wave and say hello. So this is really the most intense country where we experienced that. So tourists are very welcome here. It's part of their culture. And they really are eager to kind of engage and say hello. They're happy that we are here, and that obviously feels good, right? So let's see what the traffic is doing here. Okay, yeah, traffic. The traffic is also crazy. I think it's similar to Albania from the level. So people are driving in both directions on one road. They park everywhere, they go too fast. Although here they have a lot of speed cameras. They're filming us everywhere. And most often you have like a 2-lane road, like this highway style. And there's inside the city, but there's no indication that you can go any faster. And I don't know what's the speed limit then. So we try to adapt to the speed that the locals are going, which is, 60. So obviously the speed limit is 50 here. And we just do that. Yeah, they're not very much used to motorbikes. They are passing by very close to us. They are going very close to the rear. I mean, like, they wave afterwards. They don't mean it aggressive. They don't mean it mad, but they're just driving a little bit crazy. So you need to be careful. Just like watch out all the time. So yeah, we're riding along the road, experiencing the sunshine. I mean, like, it's very warm again. We're looking at like 33 degrees at yeah, it's 11:30. The positive thing is the fuel consumption is rather low on these high temperatures. So yesterday we were doing like 4 liters, 100 kilometers, but we were running also like 90 on average, 90 kilometers per hour. If we go even slower here, like now, 60 kilometers, it's going to be even lower, like 3 liters. So you can be very efficient here. but it also depends a lot on the wind. So if we have headwind like now, we're going to use more fuel again. But obviously we have the big fuel tanks. On the Tenere 700 world rate is like 23 liters. Also Avaro on his Tenere 700, he upgraded to the Arcebis tank. He's also carrying 23 liters, and so we are all good with that. But I think it's still fun to have long range and just go a little bit more slowly, enjoy the scenery, and be efficient. I think that's actually fun. Yeah, so in Samarkand we're going to stay for like 2 nights. I think there's a little bit more to see in the city, and exploring that. Maybe I find some time to do some video editing about Georgia. And then the day after we're gonna go to Tajikistan, to Dushanbe, and that's gonna be exciting. A very different country again. We're going to head into the Pamir mountains, and yeah, exploring it. That's what we do. We just see what the day is bringing. We're living into the day. We just have a rough idea. This morning we booked a hotel for tonight. I did some research onto that to try to find a place where there is good parking for the motorbike, like inside where it's safe. Oh, they're preparing some food there. And so we do not need to be in a hurry today to be there in time and really find a place to sleep. So that's actually good. Yeah, I think we're on the right track. That looks fantastic. I just want to give you a little bit of impression about like how it looks like here and how it is working. So a little bit filming, a little bit talking to see Uzbekistan. It's worth to talk a little bit about like why the Yamaha Tenere 700 world rate in that sense, or the normal Yamaha T700. So we're talking about long distance overland traveling into a kind of like second world and third world countries with low spare part supply. So the most important thing for me personally is to have a reliable motorbike. I'm new to motorbike riding, and that is concerning the driving, but it is also concerning all the mechanics around it, right? I mean, like I'm an academic person. I read a 600 pages book about maintenance and repairing of motorbikes, but it's not like I remember everything. So I'm really keen to have a motorbike that is working, that is reliable. And from my point of view, the Yamaha T700 is a very good bike for that. Especially when it comes to a little bit later in the stage, when we gonna have more miles on the Yamaha. I think there are also KTMs. You can go with the Himalayan. You can go with the BMW. Obviously, you can also go with Honda. The Japanese bikes, I think they have like a good reliability image. You can go also for a BMW 850 or 1250 or something like that. Not the first ones built, but later in the production cycle, because then they are more reliable. But it's more difficult to find people who can maintenance or kind of repair them. And especially when you go long distance overriding, doing some certain things on the GS 1250, for example, changing the clutch are really intense things to do, and it's not an easy thing. So the Yamaha T700 is very, very comfortable in that sense. So far I rode like 13,000 kilometers. I had not a single issue with it. So nothing, it's just working every day. I mean, like the only issue that it might have, which is a minor issue, is when you are running and then when you're parking it in the sun. And there's sun on the fuel tank. There's going to be some overpressure, I guess, and then it doesn't start very well. You can use the ignition, try to turn it on. You can even give a little bit gas in addition, but she will go out again. But I think that's a known problem. I could open the fuel tank for a little second to release the pressure, but yeah, how often did that happen? Maybe like 4 or 5 times. As long as I park her in the shadow, that's not a problem. It will work perfectly. So the reliability is a very important thing, and that's what we have with that car, certainly, with that motorbike. What do I carry with regards to kind of spare parts? So I carry brake pads for the front tire and for the rear tire or wheel. I do carry some screws, not so many. I found out you should probably tighten these one with Loctite, because you lose them very easily as soon as you go a little bit off-road with a little bit more bumpy stuff. Besides that, actually I'm not carrying too many things. I'm carrying bearings for the front wheel and the rear wheel. But I think that is pretty much it. Oh no, fork seals for the front fork from SKF. Just a set each. I think it was 45 euros for each of the forks. That's it. So what we are going to order is now an additional bearing for the what's called like the steering, where the fork is connected to the motorbike chassis. And also sooner or later I will need to get a new chain and new sprockets for the front and for the rear. I think I'm gonna order them and get them sent to Nepal, but first of all I need to check where it's the easiest with the customs and also with the speed of customs to get this delivered. Maybe also do it into India. Let's see how that makes sense. Also what I'm thinking of is getting the clutch cable, which I have at home but I didn't carry it. I think now I do have a way how I could store it in one of the front pockets here, but yeah, we need to see how we do that. Besides that, I'm carrying a little bit different kind of loops. Obviously I carry a big pack of tools to screw some things and repair some things. I'm carrying a loop for the chain, I'm carrying chain cleaner, I'm carrying a little bit oil filter oil. Oil filter oil also, these things like the pre-filter from Unifilter and the main filter from Googlatech. The pre-filter soaks much more oil when you oil it than I thought. So I only have like oil for a maximum of 3 times. So I need to get some more oil filter oil. But that's, I think, pretty much it. There's not much more that you need. Hopefully I don't need. And we should be all good. If you think I'm missing anything from your experience with a Yamaha Tenere and the way I drive it, please comment below. I would be very thankful to learn from you and understand how I can be traveling reliably with the bike. With regards to the Yamaha, also you will find dealerships and places to kind of help get people who are aware of Yamaha technology. In many places they have dealerships all around the world. I checked a little bit like what kind of bikes they sell. For example, in India and Pakistan, they're not gonna do the CP2 engine there, at least not from the main offers. So I'm not sure how much experience they would have with these kind of engines, but at least you could kind of order spare parts to these places and maybe have people who are interested in Yamaha and obviously would do a better job than just people from a no-name workshop. Maybe I'm wrong about that assumption, but that's how I think about it. There's one little concern that I have with the bike where I'm not really sure about like where it's coming from. There are some kind of vibrations that I feel, very unregular vibrations. It's mainly when I go over bumps. It's a different rhythm. I mean, like I have this kind of additional center stand on from Hepco & Becker, which I'm not too happy about, but I checked all the bolts and they are pretty much tightened. And I mean, it could be the side stand, but also when I hold the side stand with my foot, I still feel the vibrations. Sometimes I have the feeling when I change the throttle that the vibrations are different, that they come and then they go. But I'm not really sure, so the only thing that I can think of at the moment is that this is the chain hitting somehow the the fork, I think it's called, the back fork, and but it feels a little bit hard actually when I consider like the weight of the chain and how much I feel on my foot. It could be the case, but I'm not really sure. So after the service after the service in Tbilisi, the guy said that the Hepcon Becker center stand was almost completely loose, so the screws only needed like 2 turns to fall off. I'm not really sure if that was true, because I checked the screws just before Abano Pass, maybe even afterwards, and there was nothing loose. It could be from Abano Pass, but I had these vibrations before and after, so I don't really think that's really the case. But yeah, this is a little bit irritating. I'm monitoring it, see if it gets worse. I had the feeling that really after the service in Tbilisi, and they said like they tightened all the screws, I think it was gone. But then like within 150 kilometers it became gradually worse. And it could also like be that the roads get worse again and I just felt more vibration. But yeah. If you have any ideas like where the vibrations normally come from, if it is normal to feel vibrations from the chain, and let me know. Would help me to kind of get a better understanding of how serious it is and if I should look deeper and check more things. Yeah, obviously also check the engine protection at the bottom, if that is shaking, but that has always been very tight. Now in Tbilisi they also tightened it with Loctite. I think I should be fine there. There's not too much that is changing. So yeah, let's see. Another thing that I'm not really sure about is if you look at the road here, especially on the right side, on the left side, you can see that the tarmac is kind of driven out, I'd say. The tar, I think it's called, the black stuff, is already come up through the stones. And I'm not really sure if the grip on the tar is better than as if it would be like more on the gray areas on the stone. I didn't really do like full brakes to check that. Maybe I should do some research onto that. I would assume if it is wet that it's a very low grip, very slippery. But how about if it is in sun, like now hot on the tarmac, is it also more dangerous? Does it maybe even have more grip? Especially when it comes to motorbike riding. I just know from the car, the car tires, they just like squeak much quicker. And I have the feeling that on the car it's less grip, but not sure actually like it is on the motorbike. So if you know, just drop it down in the comments, and also let me and let the other people know to be safe and sure, because I mean like here it's kind of tricky. I mean like on a straight road in Germany it's not a problem, but look at this. This is like 20 centimeter deep lines into the road, and if you don't see that and you go like on top of the line and you go down and wait, I need to go here. So this car wanted to pass me, but there was a big hole in the right side, so I put up my hand so they see that I'm gonna go there. And you wanna have grip, right? You wanna just like know how the things are reacting, and it's always good. The more knowledge you have, the better you are informed, the better your decisions will be, and the more safe you will be in the end. And that's what it's all about. We want to reach Nepal. I want to reach Nepal safely. That's the most important thing. Healthy, and that's priority number one. So I know that my rear tire on the left side has some oil on from the chain lubing. I didn't do it very correctly. I need to spray the oil a little bit more to the front and not so much to the rear on the tire. So when it comes to left curves, I'm especially careful not to lose the grip on the rear tire. But here it is, as I said, like it's not like I'm probably using like 20% of the possibilities, how fast you can go on a curve, especially because the roads are bad here, right? The roads are bad, they're not even. Also I'm wearing these Polaroid glasses, and then I have the helmet cover closed. That causes like a little bit different way of seeing the road and not really seeing clearly what kind of evenness or what kind of small hills and uncertainties you have on there. So it's not worth to kind of race here or trying to be quick. The only thing that is important here to enjoy and to go slowly and yeah, be safe. Actually, that's what counts. So riding at 33 degrees is warm, it's hot. So normally I just get up every now and then to get more airflow. I have these kind of windscreen there and the additional windscreen at the top, which is really helping to reduce the noise a lot. It really makes a big difference, especially this additional thing here from Yamaha. It's very high quality. You can put it down if you go off-road. Actually, I probably should put it down so you can see more of the road. It's a little bit more noisy for me then, but can really recommend that. That's pretty expensive. I think it was 130 euros, but worth every penny. And also, yeah, it's the difference between OEM Zubehör, OEM additional parts like so I would always go for Yamaha parts in the future, especially when it comes to the side stand. Well, there's this big holes in there, so I would take the original parts, because they are just better. They are better. They're much more thought through, and these other providers, they just try to make something up, copy something cheaper. And also, I mean, like the third-party providers, they don't know the motorbike the same way the OEM manufacturer knows it. So especially if you go on long distance over traveling, go for the expensive original parts. Just invest that money and be cool. I mean, like if you have bad experience with the Yamaha center stand, please let me know that. The Hepcon-Becker on the world rate, I'm not happy with that one, because it just goes, it's loose a little bit. It's not very tight, and also if I wouldn't have modified it, the chain would touch the center stand while going over small hills and get like the suspension out in the back. So I complained, but they didn't understand it, didn't care. It was a bad experience, to be honest. Maybe it's a little bit different when it comes to the fuel tank protection. The original Yamaha, I don't know if that is so good. But again, I think here it makes the price. I have the one from Hepcon-Becker, which I'm actually quite okay with. It's cool, I like it. But there's another one which is even more expensive. They tested more thoroughly. Actually, they took it off the market because they were trying to kind of pull the bike while lying on the ground over the gravel road, and it broke somehow, so they're improving it further. But it's that one, I will put down the name below. That one is really much more expensive, and I don't hope I will need it.